I'm Stuart Thompson, editor of Digital TV Europe. I'm here with Thomas Helbo, who's the Chief Technology Officer at ComHem in Sweden. Thomas, you've recently started a trial of 1.2 gigabit symmetrical broadband. Can you tell me a little bit about how you've set that up and what the rationale for doing that trial is?
We did the 1.2 gigabit symmetrical tests. We did those last year to make sure that we are staying competitive in the Swedish market. The Swedish market is a bit different. There is a lot of overbuilt fiber to the cable networks, and we want to make sure that the discussions are not about technology but about the services that we provide. The way that we did it was having fiber to the building, and then we have a passive cable network that allows us to use the benefits of the speed.
Now, you talked a little bit about fiber operators in Sweden. How much competition do you face? How can cable stay ahead of the game and compete effectively with fiber? How well placed is cable to do that?
I think when saying a cable network today, there is a lot of fiber. It's mostly about fiber, but the infrastructure inside the homes and the MDUs that we're testing will still continue to be cable networks and coax, which makes perfectly sense. You don't need to do any changes in the infrastructure or the way that customers are connected.
One thing we hear a lot about is IP migration, including IP video for cable. How far are we from that, and what steps do you need to take to get to that all IP network?
I think the biggest concern in order to migrate to IP would be that customers are not ready for it. We do see that OTT services are increasing. We do see that customers are getting more and more flexible in their viewing behavior, so they watch things on the go, not only inside the homes. But when it comes to watching TV on the big screen, the technology is not yet ready. I do believe that we will see DVB-C TV channels for a long time, and we'll start migrating whenever it makes sense. Most of the interactive services will be migrated first, then some of the niche channels that is not necessarily watched by everybody, and then finally, when things are ready, we'll start migrating the major channels, but we don't see a need for doing that fast.
Now, you're combining with Tele2 in Sweden. How much of a reality is fixed mobile convergence? What kind of applications and features and functionality are there, and how close to a real kind of fixed mobile convergence are we?
I think when looking at fixed mobile convergence in Sweden, it hasn't really happened. I think the merger is a good way of ensuring that when it happens, we'll be ready, and it makes good sense. We don't see a imminent need for doing things as fast as possible, but we do see that there's benefits of having the possibility of adding a mobile product to the portfolio we have today.
What other areas are you looking at as a cable operator? We hear a lot about smart city applications, IoT, the smart home. Are you well placed to offer these kinds of services, and are you looking at some of them?
I think historically the coax infrastructure or the cable infrastructure we have has been based on MDUs. And together with the landlords in the MDUs, we are looking at IoT services which can make them more digital. And that is sort of a fast track to getting things introduced. I don't necessarily see us doing IoT services that are specifically targeted at the B2C customers, but we'll have to look at that when time arrives.
Thomas, thanks very much.
You're welcome.